So thank you for joining us. My name is Erin Morgan. I am the editor-in-chief of Eyecare Business Magazine, and we at Eyecare Business cover a lot of fashion trends in every issue. We have fashion shoots that we do covering new eyewear trends for the different seasons, different categories such as women's, men's, kids, sports, all kinds of things, high-end luxury eyewear. We cover quite a bit. So we're happy to be able to be here today and share some of these trends with you and have our informal modeling with Ashley here, who's going to be wearing our different trends and different eyewear. So I will just introduce our other wonderful people up here on stage who are joining us here today. We have a really fun team up here of fashion experts. So Terrence, I actually had to read it because you have a very new position, so I had to read your title.
Yes.
So this is Terrence Lackren. He is the VP of Community Relations, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion at Luxury Optical Holdings.
It's quite long, isn't it?
It is. That's a mouthful. So thank you for joining us, and congratulations on your new
Thank you. Thanks
position.
so much, Erin. It's good to be here. I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, it's always fun. We always kind of do these together, so we have a good time doing that.
Absolutely.
And Terrence has done some really amazing, very important work in our industry with diversity, equity, and inclusion. Can you tell us just kind of a little bit about what your new position entails? Maybe a little bit about, kind of maybe the scholarship, if you want to share that.
Sure,
and then, and I know you also have your own accessories collection now.
I do. Well, hello, everybody. It's good to be here. Everyone is live streaming. So yes, I just started a new role at LOH as Vice President of Community Relations, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Good job on that one, Erin. And when people think about the term of like a Chief Diversity Officer or a Head of Diversity, they think about like an HR role, right? Hiring and being able to address the human part, and that's there in my role. But what us as an industry we have to realize is that diversity and inclusion is weaved through every aspect of the eyewear industry, or needs to be weaved through every aspect of the eyewear industry. So at LOH, not only am I working as an HR role, but also work with our brands like Robert Mark and Morgenthau Frederick, and seeing how we can appeal to a more diverse client with our designs, with our marketing as well, and also when it comes down to the brands that we have in our 36 retail stores. It's just so nice to see independent companies that are realizing that. I have to give a shout out to LAI Works. Brent is here. I would say LAI Works has been the standard, of diversity and inclusion when it comes to eyewear design and marketing. So I just am very, very honored to be here. And as you said before, I recently launched collaborations with Frame Chain. It's called the Time for Change Chain. And basically it's here to bring more awareness to the need of BIPOC diversity in the world. And 100% of the proceeds for this chain will be donated to the Opening Your Eyes Scholarship, which is a scholarship I started to be able to send high school seniors from underrepresented minority communities to opticianry college. I'm happy to say that our 7 recipients are going to be with us here today at 2:15. So please join us back here at 2:15 to welcome our first recipients. This is their first Vision Expo, their first time to Vegas, so they're very excited.
That is super exciting.
I'm
got the
excited.
pleasure of meeting one of them this morning.
Yes.
A very, very inspiring person and very excited.
Yeah,
Thank you for
absolutely.
doing everything you do for the industry, and we're a better place for it for sure.
It's my pleasure, my pleasure.
So, and I thank you, Terrence, and I would also love to introduce Eyecare Business's managing editor, Carrie Ann Ramo. She's also our social media content manager for Eyecare Business, and does a fantastic job assisting with our fashion shoots, our new products coverage, all kinds of good stuff on Eyecare Business. So she's going to be joining us today to help provide her perspective on our 7 trends that we're going to cover here. So I'd also like to introduce Ashley Taylor from TNG Models, who's wearing a lovely LA Eyeworks frame right now. And she is going to help us with the informal modeling. So thanks for joining us, Ashley. So just kind of real briefly, we, in terms of, why do fashion trends matter for your business? Why do they matter for your dispensary, for your optical? And, we've had this conversation before. We talk about it a lot in Eyecare Business. but we do exclusive research of our readers every year in Eyecare Business, and consistently our readers have told us that frame quality is number one, obviously, as it should be, but style and fashion is number two, their top ranked things that they look at when purchasing eyewear. So obviously a very critical component, and fashion is, in addition to that, it's all just a whole lot of fun. So there's not so many folks here in the moment. Hopefully we're going to get a few more folks, but I always like to ask our audience just who you are. So I see some friends here that we know. I always like to ask, could you folks, if you're an optician, could you please raise your hand? If you're an optometrist, could you please raise your hand?
I see one more in the corner over there that's not raising his hand.
That's great. And if you're a staff or optical manager, office manager, please raise your hand. That's great. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And thanks to our live stream audience for joining us. We're going to have Ashley walk across the stage so you all can see it on the live stream and see the trends that we're going to cover. Okay, so our trends for fall, winter 21, you can see on our trend board here. If we can get that trend board up on the screens here.
That
our
one's right.
AV department. Oh, good. They're still, yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, so they're back. So our first trend, as Ashley will illustrate, is called shapeshifters. And our good friend Brent here from LAI Works can attest, this is a gorgeous LAI Works frame in a really amazing pop color that is really stand out and fantastic. It's in a geometric shape. We're seeing from our side on Eyecare Business, and we see a lot of eyewear all the time, we are seeing these kind of really incredible, fanciful, unique shapes. I was able to go to the suites yesterday and see some new eyewear. Just really, designers are kind of just, through everything we've been through, I think there's been a renaissance of even just more, kind of creativity and these incredible shapes. We're seeing kind of these butterfly shapes, lots of geometrics like she's wearing, and then just kind of a lot of oversized, very kind of getting that 70s influence and bringing in a cat eye, which is going to be another one of our trends too coming up here. So Terrence, we'll kick it off. I'm going to kick it over to you and then to Carrie Ann, because Carrie Ann pulled together our trend boards. Could you each just give us like a, your take on the trend kind of briefly?
Yeah, shapeshifters, yes, and more yes for me. For me personally, I have a very round face, right? And I'd love to have geometric shapes on. I think it complements it well. It gives the face angles. We don't have many angles to your face at the same time. And honestly, to me, I'm not just saying because Brent's here, no one does it like LAI Works when it comes to the perfect combination of the shape and the color combination.
Ain't it the
right
truth?
On point, right on point. I think Ashley is doing a great job modeling it, and that comes from me as a former supermodel.
I believe it.
Thank you. And Carrie Ann, thank you for pulling together these awesome trend boards. I know you pulled some runway shots.
Yes.
And this shot on the right, where she's in the zebra dress, that is from our fashion shoot that is running in our current September issue of Eyecare Business. And that is at eyecarebusiness.com. If you'd like to see the trends, these trends are covered in the magazine in this issue. But Carrie Ann helped us with all of these trend boards.
Totally.
So
They
what's
were
your
so
take?
fun to put together because look at these runway shots. Like, how beautiful are they? So I love, too,
Super.
that it kind of translates well into clothing. That Gucci runway shot on the left, like all the shapes, and it just really makes it pop. It ties the look all together. And I think definitely with masks, too, it just helps add that little bit of pop when there's like a totally out there shape. It just really ties everything together well.
It's so true. And with everyone's wearing masks with eyewear now, so it kind of it just is. That's the case. So your eyewear has to look good with your mask.
Has to.
It does.
Has to.
Yeah.
Do not
okay.
come to Vision Expo without your mask and eyewear matching. I will call you out.
You got to plan ahead.
That's right.
I now have a wardrobe of masks for sure. So, okay, so our next trend is glamour with an edge. So Ashley's going to get a new pair of frames from Carrie Ann here. We're seeing these kind of really glamorous, feminine, it's a real women's trend, that we're seeing. Oversized, but kind of lightweight. So what she's wearing is a Victoria Beckham frame from Marchand in this gorgeous kind of very thin metal wire look, and then a very oversized shape, and then some really beautifully tinted gradient lenses that add just kind of a little bit of elegance and an edge to it as well. So we're seeing a lot of this kind of, little details that really kind of make it very elegant. Some crystals, some, kind of metal detailing, and really pretty shapes, but also very, very modern at the same time. So, Terrence, what's your kind of take on glamour with an edge?
Yeah, if anyone knows me, I mean...
You're glamour with an edge.
I think that's probably going to be my new Instagram name, Glamour with an Edge. And I will say, even women are rocking it really well. Men are rocking Glamour with an Edge really well. They're not afraid to put the crystals on. They're not afraid to play with the different metals. I think the rose gold temples are looking really fine on a lot of different men and women right now. And I think especially as people are accepting more that eyewear is unisex, right? They're really being able to get in there and to say, let me go ahead and take a chance with something like this. And again, going back to the whole, everyone is seeing each other from here to here right now. I can't compliment you on your shoes. I can't compliment you on your bag anymore, and everything. If you get a haircut, no one's getting haircuts anymore because we're home at Zoom. But when you look here, that's the first thing that you're going to see. And I think Glamour with an Edge is the way to go. Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's great. Thanks for the feedback. And Carrie Ann, when you were pulling these together, obviously you got that looks like a great Vera Wang shot.
Totally.
And then obviously Yalea from Deriga Rem is the Cindy Crawford shot.
Yes. And I love this trend. I was putting these together when the Met Gala went on. And as we saw, there were so many looks that had eyewear or sunglasses. And then when Hailey Bieber pulled up and put on her sunglasses with her black dress, I was like, that is Glamour with an Edge. She just totally nailed it. And it's eyewear that makes that edge kind of, like you could wear a black dress and put on a crazy cat eye frame and make it edgy. So it's definitely achievable for everyone. Everyone can be glamorous, but you just got to add that little pop. There's crystals. There's, on the temples of the Poochie frame. I love that. So it's just a really fun trend that, like you said, it's unisex. Anyone can achieve it.
I think really this is the kind of look, even if you're like getting out, you have to run an errand to the store or something, put your hoodie on, put this fly frame on, and you're good at this point.
You need a little glamour.
Absolutely. This is all you really need. I mean, I personally don't wear makeup, but if I did, I wouldn't have to because it's something like that. If I'm running out to the store or running out for an errand,
right?
I think that can take it.
Give yourself a little zhuzh.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree.
Get off Zoom and have like some glamour.
There you go. There you go. Definitely.
It was definitely challenging packing for waist down appearance, right? Like, oh my God, like the whole full look.
Right. Oh man, you're right.
Anyway, yeah, a little rusty on that front. So, okay, so our next trend is logos give way. So we'll switch the eyewear here, and what Ashley is going to be wearing is a Celine frame from Telios. So our kind of, point here with this trend is that, glamour and logos are kind of, these kind of all over logos are just transitioning now to more brand prints. So it's not this like incredibly in your face, over the top opulence with, things printed all over you. It's more of a brand print, which is a little more understated. You can see here on the trend boards some brand prints. What she's wearing is the Celine brand print is all over the frame, but it's very delicate and light. Like from a distance, you wouldn't notice it, but from close up, you can really see it, and it's very tastefully done. So it's a really beautiful trend and just kind of a new interpretation of this kind of branding. And you can even see here on the top these frames that have the brand name in the lenses. So I don't know if you've been seeing it, but I've been seeing a lot of people on the elevators with like the Gucci all over lens print. And yeah, so those kinds of things are really happening on lenses as well, which is cool. So, Terrence, I know you love your brands too, just like I do as well. So, what do you think kind of about this transition?
Yes, I do love my brands. I tend to go with more understated logos, if any logo. But I will tell you, I had an opportunity to look at the Fendi line from Telios. I think you guys saw the Fendi line.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed by the way they use the logos with integrity for the line. I felt like it was not all out there, which a lot of people do like that, so nothing against it, that's your style at the same time. But I think for someone, for logos, if that's not your taste, the Telios Fendi line is a really great place to start to ease your way
Definitely.
in. Or if you want something just for that customer or that client that wants a
Yes.
little logo action, I think they did it really well with Fendi.
They have,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and with all their other brands like Celine, and they've done a really nice job with that
Absolutely.
as well. So yeah, so Carrie Ann,
Yeah.
what was your?
I'm kind of the
inspiration?
opposite. I stray away from logos and branding, but when I saw these and saw that it can be really understated, like the Christian Dior on the temple, I would totally go for that. So I think the fact that you can do the all over like the Fendi runway, but if you just want it on the lens and want a little bit, and when you hit the light a certain way, you see it. Like, I love that. So I think it could be a way to get an entryway into the trend, just to do it on the lens if you don't want it all over. Or if you just wear a plain outfit and then have a really logoed eyewear, then I think it's, a good way to add it in. So
Definitely. Okay. That's great. Thank you for that feedback. We're going to move on to the cat's meow. We're running a little tight on time, so we're going to kind of get through these a little bit faster. So on the cat eye, we've been seeing these everywhere. So Ashley is modeling a really beautiful kind of ethereal feeling cat eye from Fish by West Group, and really pretty optical frame. And we're just seeing, even yesterday on our appointments, seeing a lot of cat eyes out there. Just a really beautiful, easy to wear, but in a lot of different interpretations of the cat. Big, oversized, optical sun, small, bold colors. Yeah, so what are you both seeing in terms of cat?
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with cat eye. I will say a lot of times we associate with cat eye with this is a feminine frame that women would only wear, right? Cat eye done really well can be extremely masculine at the same
Yes,
time.
definitely.
Recently, Usher wore a frame that was a cat eye.
Oh, nice.
And he had an entire black outfit, a black coat and everything, and this huge black cat eye frame
Oh,
as
that's
well.
cool.
So even like this is a Celine frame I'm looking at right here, the black one, I believe.
The cat.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
I would wear that. I would wear something
Yeah,
like that. So
it's
yeah,
really cool.
I
Yeah.
think men should not shy away from cat eye frames.
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I also like too that it kind of makes the look more mature. Like Millie Bobby Brown, she's Gen Z. She's what, like 18, but it adds a real mature touch to her look. And I think it's great that she can pull it off. And I think that even seeing them in opticals is awesome too. That it's not just the sun. We're getting those optical cat eyes that are super chic. So
Definitely. And it's really a trend that's wearable by all ages, all
Yes.
generations for sure. So 2EYE is our next trend, and this is kind of we're seeing just all these like very sweet kind of bubble gum and very soft pinks and kind of just really pretty, but like very kind of sweet looks. And the trend board's really fun here. I love all these images. What Ashley is wearing...
a Vogue eyewear,
Okay, but
from
it's a different
Luxottica.
color than
Yes,
our
they didn't send the
fashion shot
bubblegum
on
pink,
here.
but that
Okay.
was the closest to twee, right?
It is. So it's a blue. Yeah, so that's a Vogue frame from Luxottica. Really cool look. So what do you guys think about this kind of sweet, kind of sugary trend?
So it's interesting. I hear the word twee. I think about the Ghanaian language twee. You know what I mean? When I first saw it, I'm like twee. And I think it comes down to is I think about nude frames, right? Nude frames for all skin complexions. When I think about that and having that, speaking about diversity and inclusivity, brands coming out with this frame that is redefining what nude is, And I think that's what we're looking at. People that can work on there and have a selection of frames that not just fit their skin complexion, but also match their skin complexion.
Right.
And I think that's what we're looking at, where we should be going when it comes to the word, the 2EYE.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I think we all need this trend right now. It's super comforting. And when I saw all the flowers on the runway, it's just totally home and, warm. I think this is totally what we need as we come out of COVID, like a really sweet, relatable trend.
It's
so.
comfort. It's comfort food.
It is.
Comfort
Comfort
eyewear.
fashion.
Comfort fashion. I love it. So our next trend, we're almost getting to the end here because I know we're tight on time, but we're a little bit of 80s. So we love this eyewear it's Missoni from Safilo, and it's a kind of new-ish collection for them within the last year, and has a gorgeous, they've embedded some Missoni fabric into the temple of the frame, and really, really cool look in a sunglass. So, this trend is obviously a throwback, bringing in some 80s kind of influences and styles. What's your take on the 80s, Terrence?
I mean, did it ever go out, really? Right? Did it ever really go out?
I said to my mom, like, this type of stuff makes me, like, why did you give away all your old 80s ski suits? I'm like, I would have been the coolest person. Save everything that's in style now because it will come back.
Exactly.
I know we're missing our good friend Salima this time, right?
Oh,
but if she was here, I mean, this is like Salima
she's
Optique Bond 07, her store there, right?
She embodies.
Big time.
She embodies
big
the
time.
80s.
So, Shalima, if you're listening, bisu to you as well.
Exactly. I love it. Okay, and now we're to our last trend. This is number 7, animalistic. So Ashley will wear this really cool frame. It's a shield sunglass from Celine, also from Telios, and it has a really amazing zebra print on it. So obviously our fashion shot here from our issue with the zebra dress and the zebra print frames. And we're seeing it, everywhere. Animal is always in fashion, but it's kind of really getting wild. I've just noticed a ton of zebra, ton of leopard, like a lot of snake. It's just really kind of, and men as well as women. You're seeing it on for both sexes. So what's your take on the animal trend, Terrence?
We need more.
More.
We need more.
Yeah.
We need more animal prints.
Totally.
Again, I mean, pop color, print with solids.
Perfect with that.
It's great. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think this is another way that if you don't want to go all out in your outfit, like last night I wore snakeskin boots, and you can wear like a snakeskin eyewear, and it's just a way to kind of achieve it in a different way.
Exactly.
And thank you, Brent, for that other amazing LA Eyework shot that I stole from your site in the right-hand corner. It's so fierce.
Yes, I saw that one on Instagram,
I know.
right?
Yes, it is so fierce.
That's
I
cool.
love this trend, and I love that men are wearing it too. I think that's great.
It's very Cookie Lioness.
It is, and I love the interpretation of the LAI Works because it's kind of animal, but like obviously, we could bring Brent up here to talk about it. But the these pops of color on there and the really round kind of iris apfel like kind of shape of the frame, like it's a really modern interpretation with that animal print. So that wraps up our trends, and I know we're running out of time, or we have run out of time, but I just wanted to kind of say, I want to finish up with a quote from our friend Iris Apfel, and just kind of say, hope these really helped you, hope you can bring this into your practice, into your optical, and bring fashion that, your consumers really want and crave, especially today. Everybody's kind of, the consumers are really out there and looking for fresh options. So, and if anyone has any questions, feel free to come up afterwards. We can certainly answer anything you need to on the side while they get set up for the next presentation. But Terrence and I had the very distinct honor to do a photo shoot with and meet, and I had the honor of interviewing Iris Apfel, the now 100-year-old design and fashion icon. I mean, amazing, amazing woman, and she ran on one of our covers last year, and we did an incredible Q&A with her. And I just wanted to share a quote from her from our issue when I asked her kind of, COVID and the pandemic, and you're like almost 100 years old, and you've lived through so much, like what's your take? And she said, I'm a big believer that people don't realize that they have a lot of space for creativity that they don't use. I think it's a good time to put it to work. If you have a lot of mashed up lemons, you make lemonade. Learn how to live in the now, not in the past, and not in the future, because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. So
I
good
love it.
sage advice from Iris. So thank you all for joining us. A huge thank you to
Thank you.
Terrence
Thank
and
you.
to
Aaron.
Carrie Ann
Thank you.
and to Ashley, who did an amazing job.
I know, they look
Thank you
awesome.
all for joining us, and we hope you have a great show.
Take care,
And
everybody.
thanks to our live stream audience. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.